Right now on ABC Action News, our anchors in the community listening to your voices.
They don't even have notebooks anymore because they were all wet. The papers, everything's wet and just destroyed.
Telling stories of determination.
I wouldn't be walking, I wouldn't be up on my feet, I wouldn't have the life I have right now, or even the chance of a life I have in the future. I owe it all to this.
Stories of lifelong friendship.
We came back here because community's important, this school's important, and your education's important. Right. And none of us would be sitting here at the table as friends and as leaders if we didn't do that.
And stories about the people and programs making a difference in the Tampa Bay area.
Seeing survivors is what's going to give you hope to keep going and getting out of bed, and knowing that there is people out there that understand.
Welcome to this special ABC Action News presentation. Our team of anchors are dedicated to connecting with our communities and hearing the issues that matter to you.
Over the next hour, we're going to highlight a few of the big stories we covered this year, as well as several inspiring ones.
And we hope you'll stay with us to learn more about our dedication to being out in the Tampa Bay area community, to listen to all of you at home. But we do want to start with one of the biggest stories we continue to cover this year, the two hurricanes that devastated our community. Hurricanes Helene and Milton hit about 2 weeks apart from each other this fall.
On September 26th, Hurricane Helene made landfall in the Florida Panhandle as a Category 4 storm. And then on October 9th, Hurricane Milton made landfall near Siesta Key as a Category 3 storm. Both hurricanes caused widespread flooding from storm surge and damage from extreme wind.
Many people and communities spent weeks cleaning up both inside and outside their homes. In the days following Hurricane Helene, I traveled to Riverview, where folks there were picking up their lives after record flooding along the Alafaya River. It shoved water right into their homes. Let's keep going. On this Monday, residents of Riverview and Gibsonton faced with the daunting task of putting their lives and their homes back together. The Alafaya River overflowed its banks during Hurricane Helene, leaving this trail of destruction in its wake. Jim and Dusty are longtime residents. They've never seen the river like this.
What do you want people to know about what happened here and other parts that got damaged?
Man, I'm gonna tell you what, it's really hard to say right now because there's so much devastation on just our street.
Yeah.
My neighbors are lost everything, so it's just really sad.
What was it like for people that don't know?
First, I gotta say, heed the warnings. I mean, next time we will put things up higher. Nobody imagined the water going as high as it did.
The neighborhood is damaged, one part or the other, belongings ruined. I mean, at least they're safe. It's a lot to take in on a Monday.
Today, Joshua is helping his parents clean up. It's a lot.
How do you move on?
Just like we're doing right now. Just trying to, a little bit of hard work. But
day by day.
Yeah, I mean, people lost their pets. People, I know I didn't see like how many people died, but so it sucks. But at the end of the day, like, that's all you do. You just move on one step at a time. All this drywall and trash and just trying to keep working, I guess, keep moving forward. How about my parents? Not much else you can do.
It's somebody's life.
The flooding has ruined homes, destroyed belongings, and left many residents wondering how they will recover from this disaster.
How are you doing, first of all?
Well, it's sad, very sad. My car was completely submerged in the water. The house, that's all my kids' belongings, clothes, books, school supplies, everything was ruined.
For Renee and her family, it's all just a little bit overwhelming. Her kids went to school today with wet clothes on their backs.
They went to school wearing wet shoes and my clothes and whatever I could pull together for them. They don't even have notebooks anymore because they were all wet. The papers, everything's wet and just destroyed.
I'm sorry.
She's trying to stay strong, but right now she and her 3 children have nowhere to go.
But you're staying strong, it sounds like.
I'm trying to, but every time you get more bad news, it's just, what are you gonna do?
I know.
And when it's completely out of your control, you just have to sit there and let it happen.
Together, they will rise above the floods and overcome the devastation that Hurricane Helene left behind and eventually emerge stronger on the other side.
And it's not just your neighborhoods and our coastal communities impacted by the storms. I went out to Mayaca City to have a conversation with a rancher about how major storms affect the ranching community around the state.
We're kind of a break right here. We flow north.
We met Jim Strickland,
Rancher?
at one of the many ranches he manages from Ocala to DeSoto County.
We're sitting at Big Red Cattle Company, kind of in the middle of Manatee County, and we got hit fairly hard here.
This property we could actually get into.
Two of our ranches that are closer to the coast along the I-75 corridor look like war zones. Our main issue, the biggest thing that we take care of after our people and our animals are safe, is making sure that all of our perimeter fences on the ranches are up. Out-of-pocket costs, but
Strickland drives us around the ranch to show us the work they've done.
and I mean the day after the hurricane, everybody knows if their families are good, we all have to go to work, and you can see how many trees we've removed off.
This is to protect the cattle inside the fence and the people outside. And for the ranches that experienced flooding, they are dealing with a variety of issues.
If you have flooding, you can't get into your crop. If you have flooding, you can't bale hay. If you have flooding, your cows are going to be standing in water sometimes up to their belly for days at a time.
Are you seeing those long-term effects with your cattle, or did you after Ian?
Yes, after Ian, and particularly after Milton, because we got so much, we kind of tend to forget about Helene because we didn't have a lot of wind damage, but we had a tremendous amount of rain. So we've been doctoring cattle for foot rot, which means our cows have been standing out in water for so long, and we have opened every gate on every ranch to where we can get those cattle to high ground. That pile out there happens to be something left from Hurricane Ian. This damage on the right is from Hurricane Milton. These are trees that were on houses, near houses that we were, well, there's a tree still on the
That green roof?
yeah, still on the roof. They haven't gotten that one yet.
Is it tough to see these piles of trees for you, knowing that this is one of your commodities here?
Oh, sure. I mean, it's gone. It's gone. And if you think about people that have nothing but timber, their whole life's gone.
What is the long-term impact of storms like Milton, Helene, Ian, Idalia on ranchers?
Well, yeah, it's kind of tough because the long-term impact is still going on all the way back to Hurricane Ian.
Strickland tells me rather than FEMA, ranchers can qualify to get money from the FSA, which is the Farm Service Agency, or the NRCS, which is the Natural Resources Conservation Service.
During Hurricane Ian, we had close to $1 million worth of documented damage. We're still waiting 2 years later. So those long-term effects are really tough because you have to survive sometimes before you get paid.
Because for most, their cattle or crop is their lifeline.
You have to understand that out here we may lose thousands of trees. They're also very important to us because that's our income stream. If they're pine trees or orange trees, if we lose those trees, citrus or pines or a crop, our income stream is gone.
After back-to-back storms, we wanted to help those impacted, so we launched an ABC Action News Gives Hurricane Relief Campaign. All the money went directly to local groups helping people get back on their feet. Thanks to your generous donations and the Scripps Howard Fund, we were able to raise more than $72,000. We donated to several incredible local organizations, including Kennedy Cares. And the newest member of our anchor team, Andrew Kinsey, went out to surprise them with that donation. He shows us how the nonprofit group is on a mission to bring hope to people.
From the outside, it looks like a regular storefront.
You always.
But inside, it's much more than that.
This is Kennedy Cares Village's home.
A lifeline crammed into 800 square feet, providing hope far beyond the eyes can see.
We've touched a lot of lives, and we continue and hope to grow and touch more lives.
Going 10 years strong, nonprofit Kennedy Cares Tampa Bay has been giving a hand up to hundreds of area families in need.
Well, we have 5,000 members, And we see about 350 in here a month.
Offering support with food, formula, clothing, and basic household needs. A mission straight from the heart of Executive Director Sandy Perlette.
It's in my heart. I was in sales all my life, and when I retired, you take care of customers when you're in sales. I was a national account manager. Here, we're taking care of people and teaching. The feedback that you get and that you know that you've helped that person is just, you can't pay somebody to do that.
In recent weeks, the work here has only increased, with Hurricanes Helene and Milton washing away many families' ability to provide on their own.
And I can always rely on Miss Sandy and Community Cares.
Stephanie was first here 5 years ago after falling on hard times, days after she and her family of 3 relocated to the area, searching for a new beginning. Now she's back as an advocate, a shining example of Community Cares.
I said, if it wasn't for Community Cares, I don't know where I would be right now.
Each bag provided here reminding those served they're not on their own.
They have helped me through many different hard times in my life. You know, when I give back when I can, but when I need help, they're there.
Life-changing work done by a dedicated group of volunteers, solely reliant on monetary contributions and donated supplies provided by businesses and community organizations.
We're very hands-on women that are all volunteers that have the same mission, is to help families in need, giving them a helping hand up to teach them how to help others.
Neighbors, truly helping neighbors.
We need more than what we have. We run this with 4 ladies. And occasionally when our members aren't working, we ask for volunteers.
A plea for help heard loud and clear.
And on behalf of ABC, Action News Gives, our generous viewers, the Scripps Howard Fund, we want to present Community Cares with their certificate, $5,000 to continue your efforts.
Oh my God. You know, some places $5,000 is $5, but you don't realize that we are on a shoestring and we make it happen. God is in the corner too, and it happens. And I want to thank whoever is involved in this very much in blessing us with this huge $5 million is how I look at it.
For ABC Action News, I'm Andrew Kinsey.
Still ahead, the University of Tampa has a new president. Our Dia Riley talks to her about her goals for the university and how she hopes legacy will grow. But first,
I feel like democracy won and that our votes were heard.
Well, it feels like someone died.
I get your voice on the 2024 presidential election and the future of our country next. Welcome back. I'm Paul Legros. A big story I covered this year was the presidential election, from the debates to the campaign trail to an assassination attempt on President-elect Donald Trump and President Joe Biden dropping out. It was an election season like no other, but when all was said and done, a new president was elected.
Please welcome President-elect Donald J. Trump.
Donald Trump defeated Vice President Kamala Harris to win a second term in the White House. On the day after the election, the range of emotions were as diverse as the voters themselves. So I went out to get your voice on how you were feeling after the final votes were counted. Election 2024, America made its voice heard last night. Now it's time to make your voice heard. How are we feeling on the day after the election? Let's find out. What did you think about the election, the results, and how are you feeling today?
I mean, I thought it was a long, stressful process, but yeah, I'm pretty relieved with the results today. It was very nervous, but yeah, I think the right candidate won for sure.
We're talking to people about the election the day after, how people are feeling the day after the election. What are your thoughts on how it happened, how it went down, and going forward?
Well, it feels like someone died.
And what do you think about the days and weeks and months ahead going forward? What are your thoughts on that?
I think we just need to focus on unifying the country. I think that's the most important thing right now.
I feel great. I feel very optimistic. I'm very happy that it's been very peaceful today. I wanted to wear a love shirt to just remind everybody that we're all together and we're all Americans, no matter who's in the office. We have a common goal and interest.
Sad day in this country where a felon get elected president and a lying thief, racist, you name all the negative things about him, he got majority vote. But you know, it's a new day. We have to get better.
your impressions about last night?
I think it was really exciting night, and competition was so strong between Kamala and Donald. I feel like democracy won and that our votes were heard and election results came in a timely manner, unlike 2020 that was so excruciating for us waiting.
Were you guys able to go voting? Participate?
Yeah, I went with my mom. And I went with my mom. It was fun, yeah. I mean, when I went there, everybody was so friendly.
Trump back in office, what are you left with here?
Being 60 years old, I have one retirement already, about to have another one at any time I can retire. It's really not, that part of it's not gonna affect me. But I have grandkids, I have kids, grandkids, and then eventually, whether I'm here or not, it's gonna be great kids. That's gonna be the problem.
What do you think the Democrats have to do to get a better result next time if that's the way you voted?
That's easy. Messaging. Terrible messaging. They don't know how to talk to their voter base.
I'm really happy that we do actually have a transition between Democrats and Republicans because it's healthy for our economy, it's healthy for our people. So right now we had, different areas are going to be developed through Democrats and through Republicans. So now we had really concentrate on one area. And when Republican comes, I think the economy will change. Well, I just hope everybody works together and that the different viewpoints can come together and work together in a peaceful way, and that we'll all see the economy improve and we'll see good laws be upheld. And most of all, I'm looking forward to seeing how our Constitution is supported.
Take care, guys. For the first time in nearly 30 years, the University of Tampa has a new president. Good morning. Tampa Bay anchor Dia Riley sat down with Dr. Teresa Abinader-Dahlberg ahead of the fall semester. She comes to Tampa from Texas Christian University, where she served as provost and vice chancellor of academic affairs. She told Dia she was ready to put her stamp on the next chapter of the university's legacy, and it starts with rebranding UT.
You talked about wanting to put Tampa back in the University of Tampa. Tell me more about that and why that's so important to you.
UT means a lot of things. It could mean Texas, the UT Longhorns. It could mean the Tennessee Vols. It could mean the University of Tulsa or Toledo, but some schools that are more reputational than we are. So UT doesn't tell people who we are and where we are. So we have the privilege of being the only university named after the city of Tampa. So we want to embrace that.
About a week after our original story aired, the university officially changed its nickname to UTampa. Still to come, building self-confidence. We'll tell you about the local nonprofit that's using theater to help improve the mental well-being of individuals.
Thank you for staying with us. I'm Wendy Ryan in South Tampa. I cover a lot of mental health related stories in our community, and this year I had the privilege of listening to many people and groups looking to make a change, including Nanette Prevost, who lost her husband to suicide. She told me about her nonprofit and how the goal is to help stop the stigma around mental health and start the conversation.
Seeing survivors is what's going to give you hope to keep going and getting out of bed and knowing that there is people out there that understand.
In 2012, Nanette Prevost was in shock after Shane, her husband of 16 years, died by suicide.
It was a struggle for my children. They were 6 and 11 at the time. I didn't have any family here, so trying to find mental health care, I didn't know where to go, and so we struggled for 3 years.
Shane was a military veteran and had several mental health issues after being discharged from the Army. But Nanette had no idea he was in such a dark place.
He was afraid to tell me about things that he was struggling with. He would reach out to strangers, other people. He didn't want me to know. He would go to doctor's appointments and pay cash, so I had no idea there was any problems.
Following his death, Nanette could not find any mental health resources, and she had no support system after just moving to the Bay Area. That's when she started going out on the water and paddleboarding.
The water really helped me, so it was my mental health, therapy go-to. And I became one of the fastest paddleboard racers in our state of Florida. And so I ended up taking that talent during COVID, and I was doing house calls with our staff at the hospital for mental health, and this is where it all started.
And that's when her nonprofit group, Paddle for Suicide Prevention, evolved. She wanted to help others with their mental health, especially veterans from Bay Pines Hospital, in honor of her late husband.
Some of the veterans already been out here. We already had our first run-through with their inpatient mental health right here on this beach, and they loved it.
Nanette is now expanding the program with the help of her adult children. But these men were just boys when their dad passed away and have had to do their own healing.
I was only like 6 years old at the time, and I didn't really know what was going on, you know? My father just wasn't home one day, and I kind of felt like I was left by myself, you know?
Being so young, Justin really felt all alone after his dad's suicide. Now 19 years old, he vividly remembers how lost he felt.
Not having that father figure in your life, you're trying to look up to someone, you're trying to get wisdom from someone, and you're trying to just grow as a person. But if you don't know who to grow into, you're kind of left just not knowing who you are as a person.
Justin even had suicidal thoughts and almost gave up, and that's when he started to pray.
Having these voices in my head pushed me to crying out to the Lord and just being like, Lord Jesus, God, if you're real, would you heal me and I'll give you my life? And here I am talking about him.
Now full of hope, Justin feels his future is now in God's hands as he begins Bible college.
I just want to learn who my Father is, my Heavenly Father, because growing up, I didn't have that, but now I have the Lord. And it's not just an earthly father, it's God himself. And I'm open to anything, you know, anywhere he'll take me.
Losing my father to suicide definitely kind of threw a wrench in, you know, what path I thought I was going to have.
Nanette's other son, Jacob, was in middle school at the time of his dad's suicide. Now 24 years old, Jacob just graduated as a pharmacist and hopes his childhood loss will help him help others.
Having that experience with my family growing up, you know, with mental health awareness being a very central component, as well as suicide prevention, you know, that's something that I wanted to turn into something I could give back to the community.
Jacob says giving back in his new career includes helping anyone struggling with their mental well-being.
Give as much knowledge to the people that need to know it, and make them feel comfortable about what, you know, plans are being implemented for their mental health care, you know, from the patient individual perspective, but also from their healthcare providers as well.
And for anyone out there feeling lost and alone, here's some advice.
You have to talk. Talking saves lives. You have to have some communication.
If you are able to communicate how you're feeling, if you're feeling off, right, if you're feeling down or sad or depressed, you know, it's never going to hurt to open up to somebody else about it, whether it's a friend or a family member or a loved one.
If you repent of your sin and turn to God, he will forgive you. It does not matter who you are or what you've been through. God loves every single person, and you can turn to him and he will pour out his love on you.
If you or someone you know is struggling, please call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. The hotline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress and crisis resources. I also had the pleasure this year of learning about the Bowley Center. They work with at-risk populations, providing them affordable housing and behavioral health services. But now they're exposing individuals experiencing serious mental health issues to the theater. For 3 years now, the Bowley Center has teamed up with Destination Theater to put on productions of Bowley on Broadway. The program is life-changing to Clark Dorenwind. He tells me it's even helping improve his mental well-being.
To be able to get up every day and do something towards a goal, that really gives you, you know, alleviates that anxiety of that feeling of I'm not enough, I'm not doing enough. I could be so much more, and you accomplish something, and you feel like, okay, I'm doing something, I'm heading somewhere.
The Bowley on Broadway program is completely free to clients of the organization. We have more information on the nonprofit on our website at abcactionnews.com/mental health. Still to come, our Lauren St. Germain will show you the new technology giving veterans and service members hope right here in the Tampa Bay area.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren St. Germain. Veterans and service members from all over the country come to James A. Haley Veterans Hospital here in Tampa if they have spinal cord injuries. The hospital has a specific clinic using exoskeletons to help patients walk. I went to the center to learn about the technology that is truly life-changing, and I'm highlighting the voices of a member of the Air Force, a physical therapist, and a doctor.
Ever since I was kind of younger, I knew I wanted to join the military.
Sean Stutson landed in the Air Force as a firefighter.
Peterson Space Force Base was my first and last base that I went to, and I spent about 2 years there.
Sean brings us back to when he was at the base in Colorado in August of 2023.
There is where I had an accident. I was hiking and fell off a cliff, about a 50-foot fall. Ended up gaining a spinal cord injury and breaking a few bones.
After treatment in Colorado, Sean came to James A. Haley for rehab.
Exoskeletons are machines or powered equipment that allows patients to be able to walk. And it offloads all the weight for them.
Dr. Kevin White is the chief of spinal cord injuries at James A. Haley. Why is something like this so crucial for a veteran?
If you ask a veteran when they get injured, one of the first things they want to say is, I want to be able to walk.
We're one of the only hospitals who's taken exoskeletons out of the regular physical therapy clinics and put them in a separate clinic. So this clinic only sees patients who are using exoskeletons.
Dr. Catherine Fitzgerald is one of the physical therapists working with patients like Sean.
This is the exoskeleton. It's one of our rehab exoskeletons here. So we use this mainly for patients who are working on recovering their ability to walk. So it does part of the work of walking depending how much help that patient needs. It does as much work as they need it to do, and then we try to taper down how much the exoskeleton is doing so that the patient is doing more.
Good to go?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be walking, I wouldn't be up on my feet, I wouldn't have the life I have right now, or even the chance of a life I have in the future. I owe it all to this.
What was it like to take that first step for you?
It was very frustrating because I was trying to make my foot, trying to make my leg move, and it wasn't.
Sean has been working with this technology since December.
I had to start first thinking right step, shift, lock out, left step, shift, lock out. Where now it's much more natural.
I mean, you really are learning how to walk again, so that makes sense.
Learning how to walk without being able to feel where I'm at. It's really hard.
It brings a lot of hope to people, the veterans who are using it, and also the veterans who get to see people up and walking around using this technology.
What's the goal?
The goal is a better life today than it was yesterday. I would like to see myself be able to walk again, but if I can just have a better life, that's what it is. Enjoy, have a fulfilling life.
Moving now to Tampa General Hospital, where they're using advanced technology to help organ transplant recipients. It's called organ perfusion, and a doctor at TGH tells me this technology is a game changer. It helps doctors transport organs farther and actually use more donor organs.
There has historically been a shortage of organs available for transplant. And so the number of people that could potentially benefit from transplant, we weren't able to meet that need. And this new technology actually allows us to cast a broader net for organs and transplant more patients using organs that in the past would not have been able to be utilized.
Dr. Danaretti tells me they're on pace this year to do about 275 liver transplants, and that would make TGH one of the largest liver transplant programs in the country. Still ahead, a local girl diagnosed with a rare neuromuscular disorder.
I do not want to have FA, I want to be a normal person.
Our Wendy Ryan met with Isabella and will share her story of hope coming up next.
Now to a story of hope. I had the privilege of meeting Isabella, a sweet young girl who's been diagnosed with a rare neuromuscular disorder. This after years of not knowing what was wrong. And thanks to her kind elementary school friends and loving parents, she's living each day to the fullest, and the feeling of hope is all around her.
Isabella Anna Wojtkowski was born a beautiful and healthy baby girl with a big smile and bright eyes to take on the world.
She was a perfect baby, hit all her milestones, was an early talker.
Joe and Rennick Wojtkowski are Isabella's very proud parents.
Isabella is an amazing child. She is beautiful, she's creative, she's extremely smart. She's very emotionally intelligent, just a beautiful soul.
Yeah. She's funny. She likes to
crack jokes and create stories, and so that's one of her traits that's been with her since she started to talk.
But at 4 years old, her health took a turn.
She got sick with a virus, and it took her a long time to recover. So and she experienced like difficulty walking after that. Her muscles were tensed, and it was just painful. So this was the first time that something like that happened, and after that, she never fully recovered from it.
So they took Isabella to numerous doctors who did many tests, but nothing was found, and they were told she'd get stronger in no time. But just a year later, her physical challenges seemed to get worse.
We started to notice that she was becoming clumsy, tripping over a lot, stumbling. She had a hard time walking in a straight line, staggering, and just struggling really to get around.
And despite countless specialists and tests, doctors still gave Isabella the all clear, until 1 year ago, when she started to have chest pains.
But the pains were severe, and I witnessed one of those pains before she went to sleep one night, and it was really like about 10 seconds of intense pain.
So they rushed her to the ER, where she was diagnosed with a heart condition, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, a thickening of the heart muscle. A hospital doctor also believed Isabella's heart issue and balance issue could be related, recommending she go through genetic screening at USF.
We got genetic testing done. That was in the October, and then within a month, we had the diagnosis of Friedreich's ataxia.
Friedreich's ataxia, or FA, is a rare inherited disorder that causes progressive damage to the nervous system. And despite feeling relieved to finally have a diagnosis, telling their daughter was not easy.
Her first response was, "So it's not my fault." And obviously we said, "No, it's not your fault. It's something you're born with. And now that we know, we can figure out how to make this, how to deal with it, how to make this better for you."
I like to go in the pool. I like to snuggle with my dog Jasper. He is very cute.
He is cute.
I also like to relax in my room, and I like to dance and have sleepovers.
Which one's Zipper?
When I met Isabella, she was so outgoing, funny, and mature for her age, explaining the help she needs when walking at school.
Miss Ranyo and Miss Holly, they usually hold my hand, and during dismissal, Mia, another one of my friends, Izzy G, another one of my friends, usually holds both of my hands and kind of like helps me balance.
And Isabella understands her limitations because of her heart condition.
My heart muscle is bigger, one of them. So like if I do too much physical activity, my chest kind of starts to hurt and I get a heart attack and I have to lie down.
This fourth grader also shared the different therapies she goes to.
In physical therapy, you do physical stuff. In occupational therapy, you like do writing stuff for the hand. If you do speech therapy, they kind of like help you say words in English.
And she fully understands her diagnosis.
So, but now that you know for sure what's going on, how do you feel?
I feel very upset.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Why do you feel upset?
Because I do not want to have FA. I want to be a normal person.
But this sweet child is so appreciative for all her support.
One more thing I would like to say.
Go right ahead.
Thank you for all the people who have helped me in the past few years.
And Isabella's parents have big dreams for their special daughter.
I have no doubt that her life will be fulfilled, and she will do whatever she wants to do as long as she's willing to work for it.
I love you.
She has so many talents, and we just want to make sure that she can live this full and brilliant life, which she deserves.
Coming up, Good Morning Tampa Bay anchor Andrew Kinsey will introduce us to a group of seniors who are shaping young lives right here in the Bay Area.
I'm Andrew Kinsey in Tampa. When you think retirement, beach days, and travel comes to mind, the working is over. But for a group of local seniors, the work continues as they fill a gap for area kids. These three women, full of energy and valuable life experiences, are living in the golden years.
I think it keeps me healthy, my brain healthy, body healthy, soul and heart healthy. It's a gift.
They're part of a special group of nearly 100 seniors sharing today to shape tomorrow.
These are people 55 and better who want to serve and want to give back.
They're called foster grandparents, an extra support system to hundreds of local kids.
We truly think it takes a village, to raise a community.
This village of mostly retirees from all different career backgrounds are embedded in over 35 schools across Hillsborough and Pinellas counties.
Ms. Margaret, how important is it for us to spend time and invest in our youth?
Very important, because these kids today is just like, we have younger people raising them, and they're really not teaching them what they should know.
The program offered through Seniors in Service of Tampa Bay is part of the National AmeriCorps program, which for more than 50 years has helped millions of children from coast to coast. The program thriving locally with help from volunteers like Gail Cooper.
This gives me the opportunity to be able to be a tutoring grandparent, to be an extra grandparent to children that don't have families, that's living and don't have grandmothers.
For 6 years now, Cooper has been giving the gift of her time to local elementary students, providing emotional support, mentorship, and tutoring with a special mix of love and attention only a grandparent can give.
You will be surprised at the number of children that lack attention from home. And you can tell the ones that don't get it, because those are the ones that come to you all the time and they want a hug.
Building strong relationships and lasting bonds, changing lives, one child at a time.
It's like you're planting seeds that continue to grow.
Yes, that's exactly what we're doing.
To find out how you can get involved, head over to our website, abcactionnews.com. In Tampa, Andrew Kinsey, ABC Action News.
Last month, we served over 60 families in 1 month.
A different type of school focusing on the whole community. Our Lauren St. Germain learned about community schools and explains what makes them unique to Hillsborough County. Next.
Welcome back. According to the National Bully Prevention Center, 1 out of every 5 students reports being bullied.
And ahead of the new school year, I learned about a program in Hillsborough County designed to help combat bullying. Champions for Children teamed up with the Hillsborough County School District and teaches 4th graders what bullying looks like. And it's all explained in a puppet show called Kids on the Block. In just the last year, the anti-bullying show performed in more than 100 schools, reaching over 10,000 kids.
The shows are presented in such a way that is so age appropriate, that really illustrates and animates through the lives of a puppet scenarios that children would face, whether that is being bullied or whether that's what a bully looks like.
That was Brandy Gottlieb with Champions for Children. She tells me the puppet show also covers the topic of stereotyping and racism.
In Hillsborough County, there are 18 community schools, and earlier this year, I had the opportunity to go to one of those schools and listen to the voices of community school leaders about what makes them so unique. Greco Middle School has been a community school since 2019. And although it may look like your average school, it's doing so much more for the whole community. They have a food pantry, laundry room, and mental health services, all available to students, parents, teachers, and staff. I had a conversation with Kimberly Thompson, who is the supervisor for community schools in Hillsborough County. She told me the need has grown over the last several years.
Because of the economy, that's making a huge impact. Especially with the food pantry, and so we've seen that increase significantly. We've seen the need for food, we've seen the need for medical, housing is another one, and we've seen families, a lot of our families are homeless. And so really trying to work with agencies within our district and even outside of our district, trying to find ways to help those families.
You can learn more about community schools and where they are in the county on our website right now, abcactionnews.com. Still ahead, Raiders for Life. Our anchor Dia Riley will tell you about the legacy taking place at Plant City High School.
We want to end with a sweet legacy taking place at Plant City High School. 4 of their administrators are alumni of that school. And Good Morning Tampa Bay anchor Dia Riley talked with them about what being a Raider is all about.
These 4 Plant City High School administrators know these halls well.
87.
Class of 87.
Class of 85. Class of 81.
The principal and 3 assistant principals are Raiders for life. Spend just 10 minutes with them and you'll feel their passion.
But we understand the Plant City community because we grew up in Plant City. We understand Plant City because we attended Plant City. We all know each other. Our families know each other. Our kids went to school together. So yeah, I mean, it is a family. And everyone will tell you that about Plant City. It is a true family atmosphere.
All 4 have known each other a long time. They're more like family than friends. It makes work a lot more fun while they work to make a difference in the lives of their students. They understand what they're dealing with. They've been in their shoes.
And I think it's important too because there's so many new things coming at kids today. New technology, new ways of work, new synergy that we're having to deal with. But when you have something that's consistent, and that gives them that stability, so for me, even as an adult, knowing that I have that kind of stability, it helps me do a better job in my day-to-day. So I do feel like Plant City's home.
Having grown up in Plant City, they told me everybody here knows everybody. So the likelihood of them knowing your parents, your grandparents, or your siblings is pretty high.
We will. We'll have, parents will, a parent of like another kid will call and say, hey, I saw so-and-so, whatever. I'm not trying to rat them out, but I don't want them to get in trouble. And it's just interesting, even though, our community has grown just, tremendously. It's just still that whole small town feel, still kind of here, and everyone kind of looks out for each other.
These 4 friends and colleagues are paying it forward with Raider pride every single day.
But we came back here because community is important, the school's important, and your education's important. Right. And none of us would be sitting here at the table as friends and as leaders if we didn't do that. Right. So, we weren't straight A students. I wasn't. I'll speak for myself. I wasn't. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, because I think Lana and I were.
Me too.
That'll do it for our special presentation, and we want to thank you for joining us.
We hope this special gave you insight into the work we do, listening to your voice and telling the stories that matter to communities across the Tampa Bay area.
You can see all the stories we've highlighted here and more on our website right now at abcactionnews.com. Just look for the Anchors Report section. And thank you for joining us.